Welcome back. We have a coaching legends passing, an Amtrak line green lighted, and weather. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama native and college football coaching legend Bobby Bowden passed away this past weekend after being recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, the Tallahassee Democrat newspaper reported. Bowden had 377 coaching victories, second only to Joe Paterno. He held head coaching jobs at South Georgia State College, Howard College, that's Samford University if you're in the under 80 set, West Virginia, and of course Florida State. Now, Bowden and his wife Ann made their permanent home in Tallahassee, and that's where he passed away early Sunday morning. His Seminoles won 2 national championships in '93 and '99. Now, as I said, he grew up in Birmingham, played quarterback at Woodlawn High School and Howard College. To get a sense of his legacy and his impact as a coach, a father figure, and a man of faith, you can see hundreds of tributes that have poured across the internet from former players, fellow coaches, reporters, and fans. They'll tell you he was folksy and gracious, that he had a Christian faith that he frequently shared, and that he was sincerely down to earth and incredibly accommodating. The access to the coach and his program was amazing, especially by today's standards. Former player Derek Brooks said he built into our spirits faith, family, football in that order. ESPN's Kirk Herbstreit called him as sweet and as good of a man as I've ever met. Now, here are a few more Bowden things that I jotted down you might find noteworthy. Even with such a high-profile job and the celebrity status of college football coaches, his home number was always listed in the Tallahassee phone book. Robert C. Bowden. Birmingham was always still back home for him. He had an annual golf tournament, not at a country club, but at his longtime local course in the Roebuck neighborhood. He was a huge World War II buff, and that was spurred by a year he spent as a child bedridden with rheumatic fever, listening to the radio news reports of the war. Now, he called me Buddy, and if you met him, he called you Buddy, and he called everybody else Buddy too. And even though that's probably because he met a lot of people and couldn't remember all our names, there's no real evidence that he didn't mean it every time. He also called Burt Reynolds Buddy, and he meant it. Late great sports writer Steve Ellis once asked Reynolds about what Coach Bowden meant to him personally, and the answer seems to point toward a role Bowden has played in many lives. Burt Reynolds thought for a moment and told Steve that his own father at the time was getting up there in years. He said he dreaded losing his dad, and that when he did, his first phone call was going to be to Coach Bowden. Thanks for the quote, Steve. Bobby Bowden was 91 years old. Amtrak may be closer to once again running passenger service between New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. Freight railroads CSX and Norfolk Southern Railway had objected to Amtrak's use of rail lines, arguing that it would interfere with freight service at the Port of Mobile. Late last week, the Surface Transportation Board turned down those objections, reports the Associated Press. Amtrak hopes to begin operating that line in January. Now let's talk weather. Weather reporter Lee Morgan's here. We're going to look ahead to the week in Alabama and what might happen outside.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a typical week of August summertime weather. You know, woohoo. We're going to have highs in the low to mid 90s. It's going to be humid. Heat index is going to be around 100 or above.
Better than February.
Well, maybe. I don't know. But so we'll watch midweek just in case they pull out the heat advisories, for that.
Break out the slip and slide if you have to.
Yes. So, no big chances for severe weather, but we're going to have those pop-up showers and storms, mainly in the afternoon chances all through the week, no matter where you are in the state. So, occasionally those can become severe, so keep an eye out for those. And what a lot of people are going to be watching and talking about and speculating about are the tropics, which are finally starting to get active. Boo. But it is that time of year. So there's 2 tropical waves out in the central Atlantic that will be very closely watch this week. One or both of them could become tropical depressions, and the tracks they look to be on could be something we'll have to watch. Now that's more than a week away that we would have to worry about it, if at all. So it's nothing to panic about just yet, just something to keep an eye on, and it hopefully won't affect us at all, but you never know. It's that time of year. So, and just so you know, the next two names on the storm list are Fred and Grace. So that's what we'll be watching.
Stay away, Fred and Grace.
Please do.
Don't put me in a tropical depression.
That's right. Or me either.
All right. Well, thanks, Lee.
No problem.
Thanks, everybody out there, for listening. We will be back here again tomorrow. Until then, come on by and see us on the internet at al.com.